Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unpopular Review.
Thank you all for clicking on our faces.
New flag with all that.
Okay, so I wrote down some notes.
Shots do that. I don't want to sit too hard. That's twice. That'll probably go over about as well as Colonel Bobby.
Because there was no Jay White side.
Just straight up gangbanging. This story has been fit. You gotta pay attention.
So Unpopular Review does not. What is she the CEO of, Chris? Jesus, golly. Let's start the show.
Hey, this is Matthew Brittle, the King of Bros, and you're listening to Unpopular Review.
Yeah, welcome one and all to another NXT Tuesday review here on Unpopular Review. The week before Halloween Havoc here. I am Sabrina, Estella, Wrestling Doll, the unofficial camera woman. Excuse me, one of many names. And with the great Grand Slam Pooba not being able to join us tonight, we are being graced with the presence of one of the co-founders, co-creators, head of the table, tribal chief, who also hosts the Raw review show here, the executive consultant.
And every single Monday, except for last night, immediately after Monday Night Raw, the executive consultant is here to say, I went to NXT last week, and then this week I got to watch NXT, and I get to be on the review episode immediately after NXT. Can't wait to talk about this interesting episode of NXT. But Sabrina, Estella, you go ahead and take it away.
Well, I mean, NXT was very interesting tonight. They definitely did a lot to promote Halloween Havoc, as they usually do for their big pay-per-views, especially when they have themed ones such as Halloween Havoc for 2 days before Halloween, basically. But I didn't really have any big problems with tonight's show, so I don't have too many negative things to say about it. What say you?
I have a couple negative things to say about it. Let's start with the obvious. What the hell is this?
The debut of Delta in NXT.
Well, Delta's a little too expensive for me to fly when I fly, so I don't know who Delta is, and nor I watched this whole episode of NXT. I didn't see this. What the hell is this?
That was what happened at the end, even though some people apparently, when they were watching it, cut off and moved on to the next thing.
That happened. Let me tell you what happened at the end. They spun the wheel, it said spinner's choice, and then somebody was like, well, I guess, and then it went black. And I'm watching something.
Well, I got to see what had happened, so. And
Hi there, guys. Who are guys going to be on Halloween this year? Sabrina, do you have anybody who you think is going to be on? Who are you going to be following?
Well, I'm going to work that day, and I work around children, so I'm just going to dress like a friendly I'm just going to be Alice in Wonderland for Halloween over there. But over here, I'll dress as something else.
Don't get stuck in Kansas. Corey says, hey, how you doing, Corey? I like your hair tonight, Wrestling Doll from Hassan Terrell. Joseph Lewis says that ending was epic. Delta arriving. What, did they land? They were on delay. What happened? Boo Chris Harris, LOL, hi, Sabrina Estella. Oh, boo yourself, Charmaine. That's why I did your latest TikTok. Chris LeClaire says, Sabrina Estella looking beautiful as always. Okay. Let's go ahead and start kissing ass. Chris, if you didn't see the vignette of Delta, if I didn't see the vignette of Delta, what, George? I didn't see it. What happened on NXT?
Anyways, we started off the show with some women's wrestling action tonight. We had Damage Control with Io Sky and Kairi Sane coming in to take on the metaphor of Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend after they went over to Raw to basically interfere in their match beforehand, and things had gotten ugly, and they called them out, and they came down to NXT to have a match, and the people got to see why Io is one of the best NXT roster stars that they had over the last 10 years. Even though some people might not remember, she was an NXT Women's Champion. She was a tag champion. She did win their ladder match they had over there around the same time as Damian Priest did, and they had that tag match with Candice and Johnny, and as well as moved up to the main roster, been women's champion, been tag champion with her longtime best friend, had turned rival for some time down there in Kyrie. Excuse me. And they took on the Metaphor, and match was good. I didn't really have any
complaints. Depends on your perception of good.
The ending, I kind of expected it a bit because of what had happened with Lash and Piper in SmackDown when Lash defeated Piper over there. And so Chelsea and Piper were butthurt about it. And so they went down to NXT and attacked, which even though you obviously didn't enjoy that because we all know how you feel about Chelsea Green, at least the Metaphor got a win.
Just a second. Just because I'm not a fan of Chelsea Green doesn't mean I can appreciate when there's actually good TV on my TV, right? Let me tell you what this match did. Let me tell you what this segment did, Sabrina. This segment showed you what the WWE has wanted this entire time for the last 5-6 years. The women's title has been in existence. What the WWE Universe has wanted. The WWE Tag Team titles mean something. Why? Not only because you have arguably one of the greatest tag team champions of all time in Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, but you actually have a division, right? Did you hear what I said? Just a second. Did you hear what I said? They actually have a division. Piper and Chelsea are better as a team. You have Damage Control. You have Lash Legend. Very powerful woman. The landscape of the women are changing, ladies and gentlemen, but very powerful woman in Lash Legend and the beautiful Jakara Jackson Harris. I'm excited. I wasn't upset at all.
So you weren't upset about Jakara getting taken down by Piper?
Just a second. Did she get pinned?
No.
Okay.
She got hit out of. She got attacked.
Just a second.
Outside of the
all
ring.
I want to know is, did she get pinned?
Lash got pinned after the little squabble that they had because the match ended in a no DQ. Well, it ended in a DQ given to the Metaphor.
Just a second, Jeffrey. It makes both teams not look weak. They came, but and while they both don't look weak because neither team lost, right? You have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, who was on every show last week. Raw, NXT, SmackDown. Every show last week in Damage Control, who they're trying to build up to you the most credible threats for those tag team titles. Neither one of them took an L. And then you add another element in there with Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Don't forget you have PFC still out there. A lot of interesting tag teams they're trying to build up, which we get to talk about the men's. And I have a few thoughts when it comes to the NXT men's tag team division. A lot of thoughts coming from the executive consultant coming up. Let me go ahead and read some of these comments if you don't mind, Sabrina. I like Chelsea, but come on, why interrupt this match? I just told you. Piper Niven, Chelsea Green, and Damage Control, and Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson. Don't forget Zoe and Shayna. Bayley and Sasha Banks are the best WWE Women's Tag Team Champions in history. I don't disagree. That's why I said one of the best tag teams. Pay attention to what I'm saying. But they're up there. Crowd was over for Chelsea, though. The crowd was over for anybody in Orlando Performance Center. You need to go. They're terrible. Good point, EC. That's why I'm the EC.
Listen, I'm just going to say is the Pure Fusion Collective, it's a stupid name, and they don't look threatening as a team. To me, whatsoever.
Just a second. How are you going to say a team with Sonya Deville in it, along with what is her name? Sonya Deville and the greatest NXT Women's Champion in history, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. How are you going to say that team is not credibly looking like a threat?
It doesn't. They don't look like a threat to me.
Just a second. Are you blind? Do you need a new prescription? What do you mean?
I'm wearing my new prescription right now, so no, I don't need.
Take it back, get a refund. They definitely look like a threat. Shayna Baszler is the most dominant, outside Asuka, maybe next to her. I still say better. Dominant NXT Women's Champion of all time.
No one's saying that she's not in that sense.
How could you sit here and say they don't look threatening? Come on.
Because of the way that they've been booked collectively over the last few years.
They've been winning. What's up? What's up? Old tribal chief Roman Reigns.
You can't tell him anything with the words tribal chief and Roman Reigns in the same sentence anymore because this man flip-flops about that like Trent Beretta does in AEW. Anyways, moving on.
First of all, I don't even know who Trent Beretta is. Second, why are we talking about the whackness on NXT?
Because it's a comparison and I had to make a point. Anyways, moving on. So we get a quick little moment.
Just a second. You mean Kaden Carter and the new Butch? Is that what you're talking about? Because that's all Katana Chance is now. She's the new Butch.
Anyways, we had a quick little segment in the back with Brinley, Carmen, and they were chatting in the back. Ashante rolls up on Carmen to hit on her a little bit. She shuts him down and says that the only reason why she stepped out in the match was to mess him up the same way that he did to her in the previous match. And the tension it's there. It's a blind man could see it, a deaf man could see it and hear it. And someone who can't even speak could say that it's there. But I'm over the storyline. I've been over the storyline. I'm just like, just get them together already. If that's what y'all are going to do, I'm just getting bored of this.
Just a second. You want them together? Are you frozen?
What are you doing?
Do you want them together? You said just get them together. Or do you want them together?
I'm just saying to get it, for the sake of the storyline, to get it over with.
Just a second. What do you want to happen with them?
They're going to work together. They're going to play that they're on-screen couple. Just play it. Just because I'm tired of the whole...
What is it about it? What is it about the storyline that you're not liking?
It's annoying as hell. I hate the whole stereotypical thing of girls and or guys wanting a girl and or a guy when they don't show any interest in you. It gets so old, whether it's on TV, in a movie, or in real life.
Just a second. Isn't that what y'all do in real life?
I don't do that shit. I don't chase over who I can't have or who don't want me. Why? There's no point in that.
You must think you're just hot stuff.
Some who act like that
aren't even hot shit. Stuff. That is a match I would like to see. I wouldn't necessarily call it a dream match. Pepe Le Pew gimmick is getting old, so I guess Jeffrey's agreeing with you, Sabrina. And I don't want them together. I like to see Ashante the Adonis actually have a storyline. I think he's a very talented wrestler who's never found his storyline. Who's never found his niche. You know, I like Carmen also, but God, there's so many damn women NXT. But hey, this is what I want to mention to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I said this a few times when I'm on this NXT show. Pay attention to NXT. The NXT is the future when it comes to the main roster, when it comes to WWE. This episode showcased more women than men. George Samuel Lewis says to think about what the Ashante and Carmen feel like high school feeling. And Mr. Terrell says Monster Hunter Indie Horror and Ghouls Fall Video Game Showcase and Bound for Glory preview is on tomorrow afternoon. Thank you for wasting 7 seconds of my time reading that. George Samuel Lewis says NXT Women's Division is stacked, and I have to agree. I think they have the second, arguably, that's what I'm saying, arguably, second best women's division in wrestling.
Which one's number one?
I think SmackDown is the best one.
And then we get some quick hype up.
Just a second. Did you just sit here and dismiss what I said like it wasn't valid?
No, I've said before my ranking for best women's divisions in professional wrestling.
After your ranking last week, when it comes to the women, you're totally biased. Your number one pick to NXT was Sol Ruka. Yeah, I'm going to keep mentioning that till we do another one next year. I think you're a little biased.
I have my opinions on who I like.
You define bias a little differently than most.
I watch SmackDown. Sometimes I watch NXT to review it here on Unpopular Review. But they quickly tell us that for Wednesday night NXT, it's going to be at the old ECW arena, which is going to get a lot of people excited to be able to step in where history was made. And speaking of more women's matches, we had a quick little match with Jaida Parker versus Tatum Paxley, who was mad at Jaida for interrupting her interview last week. So
Another women's match.
Excuse me. But it did happen. Match was fine. It was a quick little squash match, so to speak.
What squash match did you see?
Only in the sense that it was to show that Jaida is a dominant women's wrestler who will do whatever she wants with whoever she wants to play around with in the ring, like if they're a little toy or something.
Just a second. Let me go ahead and address this from Jeffrey Reimer here. There's so much women's feud in NXT. Roxanne and Cora versus Giulia and Stephanie. Lash and Jakara versus Damage Control. Bianca and Jade. Now Piper and Chelsea. Lola and Jaida. Also Kalani's title match. The reason for that is I say SmackDown is the number one. However, NXT has the most stacked women's division. What I mean by the most stacked is half the roster of NXT are women. Literally. Look at their little thing where they have the NXT level up and they show you the lineup for the women and the men. They're always equal now, right? SmackDown still has somewhat of an old school feel like Raw, where you have over 30 men and about 12 women. And that's what SmackDown currently has. Maybe about 15 women and like 40 men. But it's a big gap. But NXT, that's why they have so many segments where you'll see like 20 women backstage. And they're trying to utilize as many as they can. But that is your future. And right now, the future is looking bright because these women are actually interesting. I enjoyed this match. I think Jaida Parker is a star. Now, I don't like her for the same reasons all these other little mofos, like your almost wannabe tag team partner on Saturdays and stupid top fives and shit, dice. But I think she's charismatic. I think she has that charisma that's going to take her far. She still needs a little fine tuning in the ring, for my opinion, but she has that charisma. I really think Jaida Parker has a future in WWE.
I'm not going to disagree with what you said about Jaida. That's what I feel about her.
Just a second. Did I say it? Did I say it?
Go ahead.
Then you shouldn't disagree.
But match was good. Jaida gets the pin, like I figured was going to be the case. But the really interesting thing was what happened after the match, which is Tatum gets kidnapped by Wendy Chu, put in a coffin, which Lord knows what's going to happen to her. And we'll find out by around Halloween Havoc, most likely.
Can't disagree. Jaida Parker is getting to her own. She walks with such a swag. I saw it at No Mercy. I'm still seeing it. She walks with a swag and confidence. This woman actually has been showcasing almost every single NXT for quite a while now, but she was actually a part of the last new class. That shows the confidence that she has backstage, the confidence they have in her. I'm a big fan now of one Miss Jaida Parker. Dice says NXT may have the best women's storylines. That's your opinion. I'm not going to disagree with you. I think that's a very strong opinion. She needs to drop the Mud Boys. This is why I want to talk about the men's tag team division. Correct me if I'm wrong, or because you are the NXT guru here. I am not. And I'm really interested in your opinion on this, Sabrina. I've never been a fan of Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I think they're a horrible tag team to be tag team champions. I think they're talented, definitely talented, but they're not a good tag team. And a lot of people know I prefer bigger guys. NXT has a lot of tag teams now with some size on them. Do you really think that Nathan Frazier and Axiom are the team that you would put? If you were Ava, no charisma, Rock, would you put those tag team titles on Nathan Frazier and Axiom when you have such much more diverse and better field of tag teams out there that can take that ball and run with it? Go ahead.
Well, like I had said before on a show with my current tag partner here in the Great Grandson Puba and Evo Dose when he had joined us at one time, that I did want Nathan and Axiom to team together.
Poor decision, I understand.
I did like them as a team, and I've enjoyed watching them go at it against each other. As far as being the tag champions, I just thought at some point they were going to wind up fighting each other. They were going to wind up splitting. They've been teasing that for so long. It's like, when's it going to happen at this point? But as far as having it on them, I don't mind it. As far as who you've seen in the men's tag team division over here in NXT, who would you put the belts on instead, if you could?
You know what? This might surprise me. I actually like Hank and Tank. I think they're very entertaining. I think
they're fun
good.
Team.
Yeah, they remind me somewhat of a better in the ring, even though I was a fan of this team too, Heavy Machinery. I just think they know how, they're pretty solid in the ring. Not saying they're the Creed brothers, who I think are the best tag team in the world. But I think there's, oh God, can we talk about What a travesty it was that they lost last night, by the way. Just a travesty. Anyway, I do like them. Who did they face today? They faced the team. Was it OTM? I think OTM. I see they get a lot of flack from your fan base out here, the NXT UPR audience. But I think they're really good. Malika Idris, I think Idris is injured, but I think you're right. I think they're a good one. So shout out to you, George Lewis. I never want to see Gallows and Anderson with titles again, unless I want to go to sleep. I think Gallows and Anderson will be really good for AEW because that's what makes me go to sleep. I think OTM is good. I do. I just see a lot of teams that can get the rub. You know, even so much as the family. And let's just go ahead and pay attention. I saw some people in NXT level up, some big guys. Actually, I think Nikita Lyons were talking to them. I don't know who they are. I never paid attention to them.
Oh yeah, they've worked on the show before a couple times. Last I saw, they got beaten up by Gallus before they could even get in the ring.
Gallus, I forgot about that. Gallus is still a solid tag team, even though I think they're boring. Is NXT Level Up still on television? I know they still tape it, but are they still on television? I've always wanted a woman to look at me like that. Look at her. She is not taking her eyes off me. That is great. Well, anyway, when she gets unfrozen, oh, there she goes. Oh, you're back.
Yes. But we really quickly get Lexis King going up to Charlie Dempsey, saying how his victories haven't changed his image. He's trying to... He's talking to him how people respect him and like they like him and all that. And he thinks by winning the NXT Heritage Cup that he will get that from him, that he's trying to not look like his father, trying not to be a cheater, and trying to seem like a completely good guy. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, Lexis King, with all the bullshit that you pulled since you've joined the NXT roster, you really think anybody's going to believe that you're being nice? I still don't buy it for a damn minute. You might not be like your daddy, may his soul rest in peace, but is anybody really going to believe you that you can be a good guy in there? Unless you do something real big to show that you are, nobody's going to believe you. If you want to start, get rid of those sideburns. That's a start.
Just a second. You've been hating on Lexis King ever since he was in the Whackness. What is your deal when it comes to Lexis King? What did he do to you?
First of all, I preferred Lexis King back when he was in the Whackness as Brian Pillman Jr. over there as part of the Varsity Blondes. So don't get it twisted. The character work here has been fine. It's just his in-ring skills here. I don't like it as much as I did before when he was in the Whackness, as you like to call it. In the character work, he was a heel character. The job is to not like the heels that much. You prefer the heel characters, which nothing wrong with that. That's what you prefer. But I didn't like Lexis King as far as the heel character. That's just me. And if he wants to pretend to be nice, I'm just not buying it.
Just a second. Why do you think I only like heels? That's not true.
I'm saying that's what you do. You like it. I'm not saying that's all you like, but that's predominantly who some of your choices are for who you like.
If that's the case, I wouldn't be picking Trick Williams over All Ego Ethan Page. I want Trick Williams. I'm a fan of Trick Williams. I'm not a fan of All Ego.
You never liked Ethan Page, so that's one of your few.
You know why I don't like Ethan Page? Are we at that segment yet?
No, but you don't like him because you think he's boring. Anyway,
just a second. Did you see that promo between him and Trick Williams?
Yes.
If that was not the most lame promo I've ever seen of a world championship, even though it's not world championship, but a world championship match for PLE, that was so lame. I've been wrestling 17 years, and I finally got a championship. So yes, I am. At the end of that segment, Trick Williams turned his back on him, like, get out of here, mother sucker. Go back to the Whackness.
Okay, first of all, I never want to see him go back to the Whackness because then he's not going to even have a title belt and he's going to be put in a storyline that's not going to make him relevant for any more than 2 months. Anyways, moving on.
Maybe they did something right.
They didn't do a damn thing right with him ever since taking him away from American Top Team with Dan Lambert and Scorpio Sky. But anyways, Maxime and Nathan Frazier roll up on Javon and Cedric Alexander. They give Evans a
Just a second. Did you read this comment from George Lewis? I saw that promo between Trick Williams and Ethan Page, and I think Trick took it to him. Right, because he got so bored, he just walked away. Right? That's what most people do when All Ego is on. They get so bored, they pick up a controller, and they change the channel. And what do they watch? They watch golf. Because golf is more interesting than All Ego Ethan Page.
So
just a second. Do you really like all ego Ethan Page as your NXT champion?
I never said I liked him as the champion.
Mm-hmm.
I just liked him before when I used to watch him.
Just a second. All I want to know is, do you like him as a champion? It's a yes or no question. Do you like
him?
No,
I didn't like him as a champion.
Okay. Do you see what I'm saying? You think he's boring? You want him gone?
I just didn't like his reign as the champion, like consistently running away from everybody. It gets
just
old.
a second. Do you think he is the worst NXT champion of all time?
No.
Who do you think is the worst NXT champion?
I mean, we've had worse ones, but I just
a second. If we had worse ones, all I want to know is which one of those NXT champions was worse than Ethan Page?
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
You know why? Because Ethan Page sucked and he's the worst one. I'm glad we agree. I knew we can agree on something.
Okay, Devon Evans gets annoyed with Axiom and Nathan to the point where he slaps him in the face. Wesley sees him walking by, and then he starts getting under his skin too, and he nearly bites this boy's head off, but Cedric Alexander stops him. We get a video package for Giulia. And
just a second. We're not going to just gloss over this segment because this was some bullshit. Right. Cough it up because I was allergic to it too.
You're allergic to anything that involves Wesley.
Wesley was the highlight of this segment. Are you kidding me?
And who?
What's his name? The young OG. Where the hell is the little skinny little guy that's the size of my pinky?
Javon Evans.
First of all, he disrespects somebody. He slaps somebody. Who did he slap?
He slapped Nathan Frazier.
Right. He disrespected Nathan Frazier. You know, I mean, really slapping Nathan Frazier, that's disrespectful because sometimes it's like he's on my screen and he thinks it's good and I want somebody to slap on the reality. But anyway, he slapped him, right? And I'm like, this little turd, right? Because he should be a fan. He should be sitting next to me in the NXT crowd. But instead, he's out there doing flips like he's Reggie. That's why they got rid of Reggie. Anyway, so he backs up because he wants no piece of Nathan Frazier, right? Because Nathan Frazier actually has some muscle on him. So he backs up because he wants no piece. He runs into your boy Wesley, who also has some muscle on him, right? Wesley laughs in his face and says, hey, you're not successful, kid. You've never been successful, kid. The only time you were successful is when you got slapped by the doctor because you actually started breathing when you got out your mom's womb. Then, after Wesley says it, he does the same thing all of these little young thugs do, right? You know these little young thugs your age. You know what they do? He pulls up his pants. Did you see it? Tell me you saw it. Tell me one of y'all saw it. He pulls up his pants like he's about to swing. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that.
Just a second. Do you have YouTube TV? Can you rewind it? I want somebody to watch it.
Why would I pay $70-some for YouTube TV for something that I would only watch once a week?
You need to see it. He pulls up his pants like one of these little young.
Guess what? I can watch it on the CW the next day. No problem.
Nah, they're not going to show it on the CW. Let me see if they have it on YouTube. I got you. Somebody saw it. I know somebody saw it. This motherfucker pulled up his pants like he's going to do something. He didn't want no part of Wesley, right? He looks at Wesley. He says, oh, wow, you actually see the gym. The last gym I saw was the gym that was my third grade teacher. That's what Evans knows. And you're going to sit here and defend? Come on.
I never said anything in regards to defending.
I'm going to find that video. I know somebody saw it.
All right, you have fun with
Hold on. Good Chris, as y'all call him, says, every person on the NXT champion is best except Ethan Page. My point exactly. Terrible champion. I love Captain, but this is one of the craziest opinions I ever heard her say. She thinks this guy is good. Oh, look, Zarya makes her shocking NXT debut. Why does she look like she could be cast for the third movie of It?
I don't know.
Okay, so they don't have that backstage segment, but I have YouTube TV. I'm going to pull it up because you're going to see it. I'm going to be Vic and Dice, and I'm going to get us a copyright today because let me tell you something. I'm watching this shit. Where'd it go? Let me sign in.
Oh boy.
Yeah, because I can't believe you didn't see it. He definitely got.
I have to watch it.
Definitely got a fighting stance,
and it buffers, so I can't watch everything right away because other people are using it too.
You said what?
I have to use that watching wrestling website because that's how I can watch it, and it buffers because other people are using it at the same time. What is going on here? This is Unpopular Review. That's what's going on here.
You tell them.
But anyways, we had video package for Giulia and Stephanie. They're talking about their history with wrestling and how it brought them together, and basically how they're going to fight to take down Roxanne and Cora Jade at Halloween Havoc. And then after that, we go backstage and we see somebody attacked Adriana Rizzo, and the rest of the family is trying to figure out what's going on. And Luca goes out to fight Oba Femi, and Stacks goes out with him to make sure that everything will be fine with him, while Tony D stays with Adriana and the other refs that were there to make sure that everything is okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
Just a second. I want you to see this, right? Get rid of that Tony Hayes guy. I want you to see this because you're going to see it right here. Pay attention to him. Pay attention to him, Sabrina.
You trying to be funny too?
Look at it. You see it? Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it there.
Right? That is, I'm about to fuck you up. But he ain't want no piece of Wesley. You faking. He knew his boy was there going to hold him back. I've seen many of people do that when I try to kick him out of my hotel. They look around and see somebody's going to hold him back, then they're going to act like they froggy. You ain't want none, little kid. You ain't want none. This ain't fourth grade. You're not in the parking lot, bruh. You would have got your ass whooped by Wesley. Whooped. They would have been calling him Trick Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, a miracle has happened. This one actually is rooting for Wesley in anything now. But anyways, speaking of those that got overpowered, we had Luca Crusifino versus Oba Femi, which...
I think you need to see it one more time. Let's take a look.
No, I don't need to see it one more
take a
time.
look.
You got time for that.
Oh, you trying to be funny too?
Look at it. You knew his boy was there. He ain't want none. He ain't want none.
Sorry about the
He ain't go nowhere. He ain't go nowhere. If he wanted something, he could have got the smoke. He could have got the smoke. Just a second. You didn't see him go and look for his boy to try to help him out so he don't get his ass whooped?
Oh my God, we're not doing this again.
Doing what?
You going back to the YouTube TV thing to rewind and try to show evidence.
I'm not watching it again. I'm not watching it. All I'm saying, just a second. I'm not watching it again. All I want you to do is admit that your boy is a little punk. That's all I want you to do.
Who said Javon Evans was my boy?
Don't you like all them little kids that think they're good?
Some of them I like watching in the ring. Some of them I don't really pay attention to that way.
Do you like Javon Evans? Are you a fan of him?
As far as his in-ring work, yes, I like his in-ring work. Outside of it, I don't see a big character or anything that like particularly stands out, so I can't say that I do.
You're a fan.
I am whatever I choose to be. But anyways, Luca Crusifino versus Oba Femi, it ended exactly the way that I thought it was going to end, which was with Oba Femi literally destroying the crap out of him. And then afterwards, excuse me, Stacks is going to check on him, but Oba throws him out of the ring, attacks Luca some more. Tony D comes out of nowhere, and Oba throws him into the steps, throws Stacks through the table, and destroyed Luca through the ladder, which Devil's Advocate really played with him on his shoulder right there, telling him to destroy the crap out of all of them.
I was happy with this segment. It needed to happen exactly the way it happened. He needs to be destroyed, a destroyer. Oba Femi is very good. Shout out and look out for us this Thursday. We do our top 5 NXT North American champions. Oba Femi definitely has to be in the argument, in contention somewhere with it, because the man is a monster, which was showcased here.
Well, we're not going to disagree on that. Oba Femi is definitely a top 5 contender for greatest North American champions. And
are you going to be on that?
I said I wanted in on that, so yes.
Nah, you're going to be with the bad guy and myself.
Okay, well, have fun with that because I already know who your number 1 is going to be. Anyways, we get a Chase U vignette with Andre Chase running Rich Holland down for betraying their trust and how they said they were going to make him feel like he was at home. Now you came in because nobody liked you up in the main roster and all that. You wanted a second chance, et cetera, et cetera. And you're going to feel how he felt when he got put in an ambulance. So they're going to have an ambulance match in Halloween Havoc, which nothing wrong with that. We need at least one every now and then. Last time we had that, I saw on NXT was Julius Creed versus Damon Kemp before he got let go because he's so boring out of the ring. In the ring, he's fine.
You know, wasn't it a travesty that Julius Creed and Brodus, whatever his name is, Creed, did not win last night? Makes no sense.
Well, that is not my decision. You may talk to the booker up in the Raw creative room over there.
Just a second. My question was, don't you think it was a travesty?
I didn't really get to watch much of Raw yesterday, so I can't say.
Oh, shame. Okay.
But now we're getting to the Ethan Page and Trick Williams segment, with Trick Williams saying that he should have laid Page on his ass last week, but he promised he was going to play nice. He promised Ava Rain. He's not all ego. He's all desperate. And Ethan says maybe he is, or maybe he just wants everybody to think that. He talks about his career throughout the years, how he's wrestled for a very long time before he finally got a championship here in the WWE. And that they've had very different paths as far as their careers that they have. Kind of reminded me of when Shayna ran it down on Ronda, when they had their little moment of Ronda trying to figure out why did Shayna turn on me and all that. And Ethan said that he's never had a performance center pampering and catering him. He never had the greatest minds in pro wrestling coach him, prepping him for a top position in a top company. He had to go through hell to get to where Trick is. Trick says he'd get it. He worked hard, so did he, and he won't let him shame him for being blessed. Excuse me. Ethan says that he definitely doesn't get it, as Trick the Veer has been busted open, blood and sweat blurring his vision with the knowledge that he still has to get up and keep fighting. Has he ever been hit with a weapon so hard it tore flesh that he had to get up and keep going? Or that, better yet, has he had to taste his own blood and sweat, that copper and salt make everyone else feel queasy so many times that he started to like the taste? And said that Trick is all flash, fake confidence, that's why he hit him with the lights. A glimpse of the devil's playground where anything goes. And Trick says he has the looks and the skills, doesn't have the devil. He's got the devil inside him. Williams isn't tough enough. And Trick just asks him if he's stupid. And then goes over every war, calls Ethan desperate. And Ethan claims he's going to take his title back.
Best part right here, this whole segment. Trick Williams just walked away. Like, who is this kid? Just walked out. Like, I'm done. I gave you 5 minutes to make a name for yourself, and you put me and everybody here asleep.
It was a little long-winded, this promo, I will say that.
Just a second. What happened to you?
Happened with what?
You. What happened to you?
What do you mean?
You haven't been on really with the executive consultant in months. You've been on with Great Grand Slam Puma. And
yes.
Did he neuter you or something? Like, what
No,
happened?
he didn't neuter me. I'm just saying.
That's the best you had? What happened to the feisty wrestling doll? Is it because you changed your name to Sabrina Estella? Is that what it is? And now you're all tamed and toned and housebroken? Like, what happened? What happened to you?
Being like that right now.
You know, in a couple of weeks, Florida has an election, and you have to vote for, you know, these what's it called, amendments on abortion and other things. Like,
I'm gonna guess on that. I'm not gonna vote no to something that's going to have women keep their rapists or incest or sexual kidnapping baby. I'm not going to say that.
And legalizing weed and stuff like that. And I want to add another one there, and that's to get the real bar back, the real wrestling doll back, the one that actually had smart remarks and catty remarks, especially people who thought you sucked.
I don't feel all that hot right now. That's
what are you talking about? These fans are over here acting like you look hot, even though you say you're not feeling well. Well, you haven't said you're not feeling well, but you can tell because you coughed more times than Ethan Page actually had claps in the crowd.
I haven't been feeling good the last few days. I'm recovering from that now. That's why I've been coughing so much.
Oh, you haven't been feeling good. Is that why you want to vote?
That's all it is. I just
is that why you want to vote no on option 4?
I heard nothing of what you just said.
Is that why you want to vote no on option 4 because you haven't been feeling well?
Yes, because I haven't been feeling that well. That's why I'm not like as I normally would be.
Thank you. She changed. Like, what happened? Well, I used to do this show at least once a month. You used to be all fiery. Like,
I don't feel like fighting nobody tonight.
Like, Ethan Page should not have gotten away with what he got away with from you. You know what I'm saying? You should have been like, yes, it was terrible. And you would have been talking about how boring it is and cutting people off. But now you're just like, okay, it is what it is. I'm actually excited to be here. I actually had a good time while in NXT. I think I was fighting it for a while. I think NXT is arguably one of the best shows on wrestling television now. I think they do a phenomenal job. And I think they have so much talent. I think the change in the move to CW did a very good job for them. The one downside, you must have known what I was going to say, which is why you coughed. The one downside is all ego Ethan Page.
The bigger downside would be if he were up on the main roster and him acting like this and people not having a reaction.
They would cut him immediately. Exactly. What do you know? You spell your name with a lowercase c.
He can say he enjoys watching something.
I enjoy watching it. I just don't overly sexualize women like you do. That's all. You know.
But you call them your future Mrs. X.
Y'all sit here and say me calling a woman my future ex Mrs. Harris is on the same level as dedicating a whole minute. Let's take this time to say we love you some Jakara Jackson. Looking scrumptious. That bodysuit was definitely bodying. When you're wearing the curls. You know what? When he does that, he sounds like he belongs watching AEW in his mama's basement. That's how he sounds. So, no, it's not on the same level. Thank you very much. I enjoy wrestling. That's why I watch Raw. That's why, which in my opinion, is the best wrestling show on television each week. I think NXT is a solid number 2. I think SmackDown is a close number 3 now. SmackDown is not always hitting. When SmackDown's good, SmackDown's better than every show. But on a consistent week-to-week basis, Monday Night Raw is the best show in wrestling. NXT is a great show, but it has B-plus players. And they have all ego Ethan Page. SmackDown, if Roman's not on, doesn't hit the same. What's not true, Mr.
You're going to have to tell him what's not true.
What's not true?
Former administrator here at Unpopular Review. But we have Cora and Roxanne chatting up about how they're two of the best that have built up the roster in the NXT division here in the WWE.
Keep going, Miss Sabrina. I'm just answering the question.
And then,
it's better in 2 hours.
Fatal Influence that came up, and they all agree that they're basically like their 4 pillars of it, so to speak. Which I was just like, please don't refer to yourselves as that. Meanwhile, Kaylani comes up and she agrees with them in trying to figure out who's she's going to be fighting for Fatal Influence of the PLE, which my money is going to be JC Jane. But they start telling her like just to zip it because you don't get it. You ain't one of us in that sense and all that fun stuff. But I was just thinking, who in the hell was in the back with the styling thinking, let's put Cora in this 2-piece that's revealing everything, that's revealing her bra and basically a high cut, and then give Kaylani the same thing just with shorts in the bottom. I was just like, we're all trying to style Damage Control, but didn't get to them, so you decided to give those outfits instead. I was just a little confused.
Just a second. I wanted to let you know that Jeffrey actually sent me a video of Mr. Evans pulling his pants up like he was going to do something to Wesley. So if I play it again, you blame Jeffrey. That's all I got to say. Okay, go ahead. I actually like Fatal Influence. They're growing on me. I think they're good. I think what's Great Grand Slams JC Jane. I think she's good with the faction, but the problem is it's just like can you survive if you're not in a 3-woman faction? That's what it's looking like right now.
That was the hard part. She wasn't surviving for a bit by herself. I mean, neither was
Correct.
Gigi. But
Now she's doing. Now Gigi's done.
Storyline, and then she revealed that she was just doing all that just to make herself better.
Wrestling Doll is not your partner because if Wrestling Doll is your partner, you would have been here to do the show with her.
But fatal influence or toxic attraction is what I'm asking you now.
It's a good question. I'm still gonna go with Toxic Attraction because the show when Toxic Attraction was there. Now, granted, it was a different time. I know it was only like a year and a half, 2 years ago, but if you really look at it, Wrestling Doll, the landscape has changed in NXT. Not just because of the whole Vince thing, and stuff like that, but the landscape has changed. They grew. What NXT 2.0 did, they just kept building and building and building, improving upon to where they are right now. I think Toxic Attraction, the reason I'm going to give them an edge is the same reason why I would say, some people will sit here and talk about Alexa Bliss or Nikki Bella, who I love Nikki Bella. I thought she was great. I thought Alexa Bliss, who's arguably one of the greatest world champions of all time right now. But at the same time, when you think about it, could Alexa Bliss still work in this time period with these wrestlers? Could Toxic Attraction work in this time period? When Toxic Attraction was around, they didn't have the amount of women. They had a good number, but they didn't have the amount of women that they have right now. Women practically run NXT now. They do if you count Ava. I mean, I know she's just a figure on screen, but they do if you count Ava. I don't know if Toxic Attraction will have the same impact that they do now. Because even though you have Fatal Influence, they wanted to end with like Cora and Jade a little bit. Don't forget. Not Cora and Jade, Cora and Roxanne. Don't forget, Roxanne's the NXT Women's Champion. You know what I'm saying? So you have that. I've mentioned Jada Parker and the amazing things that I think she's going to do. Kalani's a solid athlete. I think Carmen Petrov is a solid competitor. Do I think she has a future going far? No, but I think she's a solid competitor. And that just shows the landscape that is the NXT Women's Division. I can't tell you who I think. If you ask me who I think is a weak link that's featured weekly on NXT as a woman, I know it's going to be unpopular. I think it's Lola Vice. I don't think Lola Vice is on the same level as everybody else.
I can understand where you're coming from with that. I feel like she's more someone that people look at and like could get popular on like TikTok for dance videos or something like that.
The thing is, I can see Fatal Influence splitting up in the question. Who is the weakest member of this faction? It is the
Jasmine.
Correct. By far. I think Fallon Henley has a future.
Every time they lose, so.
I think Fallon Henley has a future. I think JC Jane actually has character work. I just think that she has not found her stride individually yet. But she's very good. Like, even when she was in Chase U, I thought she was doing fine. She's good as long as she has a good partners with her. But on her own, no. But very good character work. And Fallon Henley, who was beautiful and wasn't mentioned, I don't think, last week in your draft, and she should. But there's a lot of beautiful women there. I'm actually starting to develop a little bit of attraction to Sol Ruca.
And speaking of that, we actually did have a match with Sol Ruca versus Carmen Petrovic, which the match was basically just to advance the storyline once we see Ashanti the Adonis in the crowd with one of the blonde girls, which I think it was Brinley in there with him to basically distract Carmen and cost her match yet again. Which match was good. Sol Ruca always does good in the ring. Carmen does pretty good in the ring. And the Soul Snatcher always hits beautifully, so there was nothing wrong with that. But I didn't mind this match. I enjoyed it.
It's fine. It was a solid match.
Excuse me. So afterwards, we have Nikita in the back with Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe talking about how her return and that they need to be ready for their moment because they've been gone for a hot minute, which is true. We haven't seen them for a bit. And she gives them a pep talk about being aggressive, and Oba Femi comes in to give her her fur coat that she dropped. And then we get a brief little moment of Hank and Tank backstage with the racing driver Cole Custer.
Shantae loves blondes.
A lot of people have a type.
Yeah, Jasmine's the weakest member of Fatal Influence. What if Nikita attacked RZA for Oba? Why would Oba have her coach saying you dropped this? Possibly. I think that's what they were hinting. Now that you mentioned it out loud, I did not think about that at all. I just thought that was another love triangle that this one, as she likes to say over there, would hate. But
No.
that's probably true. That's probably why they did it. And you know what? I was saying this last week when I went to NXT. I was not a fan of Nikita Lyons. I was impressed last week. Something else is changing. There are a lot of bigger women out there. Even 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I think Wrestling Dolls used to say it all the time. The match that got her to fall in love with wrestling was the main event of WrestleMania 37, night one, which was Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair was one of the larger women back then. Her and Charlotte Flair. Now you have Rhea Ripley there as well, even though she was there at that time. But now you have Rhea Ripley there as well. You have Raquel Gonzalez. You have Piper Niven. You have Nia Jax. You have a freaking Lash legend, Nikita Lyons. There are a lot of bigger women out there. Beautiful, beautiful bigger women out there. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Indeed it is.
Unless you're an AEW fan.
Anyways, we had Hank and Tank.
Jade Cargill. I forgot about that one. Bianca's still bigger. I don't know of any woman right now. I still don't know. That's a question I want to ask this chat. And then, you can continue Wrestling Doll because I want you to answer this question too. You got me?
Yes.
Just a second. Who is the strongest woman in wrestling right now? Go.
Right now,
Go.
Basically, it would have to be Bianca and Jade. I think they're two of the strongest right now.
So you think Bianca and Jade are equally as strong?
Yes.
Over Lash Legend?
Yes.
Over Raquel Gonzalez?
Yes.
Over Rhea Ripley?
Yes.
George Samuel Lewis says Jade Cargill. Okay. I don't disagree with you. I think Bianca's stronger than Jade Cargill. I will go with Bianca Belair.
Well, if you don't agree, then who do you think, Duviella? You tell us then.
Where was that at? There it is.
I don't feel well. What do y'all expect? But I'm on the show.
Z says Lash Legend, which I don't think is a bad pick. I think that's a good pick as well. This woman did body slam Otis and kept Piper Niven up in the air to the Lash extension, I think is what she calls it.
Yeah, the Lash extension. That's her finisher name. Not a bad
Very
name.
strong woman.
Yes.
There's a lot of them right now. Lash is fire. Anyway, keep going, Wrestling Doll.
So we had the match of Hank and Tank versus OTM, which I really didn't have a big problem with it. The match was fine, and they got a little assistance from Cole with his helmets with the collision course on Bronco Nima with Hank and Tank getting the win, which I have no problem with Hank and Tank. I love them. I think they're very entertaining and funny. OTM, they're all right. They never really grew on me as far as character work in the ring. It's okay, but I just never been big on OTM.
Just a second, I gotta answer this. Rhea is very, very strong. Rhea is more aesthetically strong, though, if that makes sense. Okay? Now, I'm not saying this because I'm not a Rhea fan. I'm just telling you this. I know it. Rhea is very strong. Very, very, very strong. But she's not as strong as Bianca. She just looks strong. She's really good with bodybuilding as far as the look, but not so much as far as the weight training. For Z, she folded Piper Niven. Bianca, however, had Piper Niven up on her shoulders and gave her the
KOD.
Correct. Walked with her and gave her the KOD. So that will always be a thing. So what about return run, guys? Return run what? You have to talk to me and tell me what you're talking about. I think it was in terms of strength, it will be Jade, but Rhea is definitely up there. I agree with you. Match with Hank and Tank versus OTM was decent. They're still in the mud, dusty as they can be, and she was going to fold you, bro. No. Rhea knew what time it was, and COVID happened, and she didn't want no more of this match that she and I were going to have. Anyway, I apologize for Stephaine interrupting you. Go ahead, Sabrina.
Well, after that, we have Nathan Axiom demanding a match against Cedric and Devon backstage, which he was going to give them at some point.
Next Tuesday, which a few of us have already filled out the form so we can go to NXT next Tuesday. Do you want me to send you the form so you can go too, or are you going to be not feeling well?
I haven't gotten in the mail yet, but I'm going to check. But
what are you talking about? I have it. I get early access because I'm Chris.
Of course you do. But we have Lexis King coming in asking Ava to help him find a quarterman for his Heritage Cup match next week. She told him, you can't just force somebody to be in your corner. It don't work that way. It's not my fault that nobody likes you, basically, with all the bullshit you've done. She didn't say it, but you could see it in her face. And he pouts and is annoyed about how she wouldn't get it because everyone loves you guys. And he sulks off. But I'm thinking to myself, this is the same GM that got threats from the internet from people because in the beginning, and now I'm just like,
everybody still loves her.
Everybody loved her.
Everybody still loves her family. Let's be real. If she was not The Rock's daughter, she would have no job in WWE right now.
No, she most definitely would not have had a job.
She is not even that interesting as a GM. Now, granted, from what I saw today, she's gotten better, but she's still not good. Adam Pearce is more entertaining. Adam Pearce, who's arguably one of the longest authority figures in wrestling ever. Mr. I need a drink extraordinaire, Mr. Let me come out and run out and tell people to back up out the ring, because that's the one thing I don't like about Raw. Can we talk about that real quick? Let's talk about it real quick. Just a second. One thing I don't like about Raw, way too many pull-aparts. I don't know if you've ever seen it. You say you don't get a chance to watch Raw much. If you do, you will notice they always have this thing where two people or groups are always fighting, and they have to have every official or referee come out and pull them apart. They do that almost every episode of Raw. Guaranteed. Also, they are guaranteed on an episode of Raw. You're guaranteed to have, and sometimes SmackDown too, one backstage segment where somebody gets attacked backstage. And then all these people were just out of the woodwork. They were already there just watching the shit. And then they tell them, get him out of here. Get him out of here. It's annoying. I miss Vince sometimes. The main event between Fatal Influence versus Stephaine Vaquer, which they gave 20 minutes to, by the way, and Giulia, was really good. And there's no way Stephaine Vaquer and Giulia, Stephaine Vaquer, who was made my list of next ex-Mrs. Harris's. Giulia lose to Roxanne, Perez, and Cora Jade in their first PLE. No, they should win. Pull-aparts are awesome, bro. But just like I think table spots are overdone, pull-aparts are overdone. I don't need to see the announce table broken every single week. It's not that impressive to me anymore. Okay? Give it to me once every month, every other month or so, not every week. I've seen Raw, and they do it almost every time. Almost every time, two people want to fight each other, and they got to bring everybody to the back. But you know when they don't do it? They don't do it when the Y6 comes out and attacks the most musty world champion of all time. Nope, just let him fall. Nope, just let him get beat up and jump. Yeah, okay, cool. A Raw review on NXT? No, we're doing NXT. Pay attention. Main event was fire. Go ahead.
Indeed it was. We will discuss that. I'm just going to quickly say this. Rich Holland cut a promo answering Andre Chase, saying yes, they're going to have an ambulance match. Commentary heads up Halloween Havoc. Tony D's interview backstage. He says he doesn't know what's going on around here. Sunday it's going to be more than a title match. He's going to personally beat Oba's ass. And then we see Giulia and Stephanie run into Damage Control backstage while Fatal Influence makes their entrance. And this match, we started off with the women's tag match, and we ended with the women's tag match. And this match was absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I love watching women's wrestling and getting to see a little bit of Giulia and Stephanie more in action, which I'm not going to say I was like fans of them. I knew of them, like watching their stuff before. I heard of Giulia by name. Stephanie I hadn't heard of, but it was nice to get a little taste of both of them more in the ring in NXT.
Just a second. Did you see her wrestle Sasha Banks?
Wrestle who?
Sasha Banks?
No, I have not.
Okay, because that's how she got the job in WWE, because she wrestled Sasha Banks.
But match was great. I had no problems with this match. It was very fun. I enjoyed watching it. And JCJ unfortunately took the package pile driver from Stephaine Vaquer. Oh,
Just a second. That is a horrible finisher.
And the match ended. Giulia and Stephanie win, and they see Roxanne and Cora looking up on the balcony, and they start going at it at them. Meanwhile, Fatal Influence spins the wheel, and they come up with Spinner's Choice for the match with Kehlani Jordan. And show went off here, but some of us saw what had happened. I saw it. Delta's here.
Fade to black.
Some of y'all didn't see it. I got to see it.
I didn't see crap. It went black, and then it was the next show. I think it was the news. See?
Now, my partner, who I love very much, the Great Grand Slam Puma, I know that you were not happy with the ending of that match that happened with Fatal Influence and Giulia and Stephanie. And as much as you want me to defend her honor and say that nothing happened, that she was distracted and all that, I'm not going to hide the truth from the viewers of Unpopular Review. JC ate the pin. She got hit with the finishing move.
Terrible finishing move.
And that's what had happened, and that's how Giulia and Stephanie won. But the show, it started on a good note, and it ended on a good note.
Sounds like you need some chicken noodle soup.
Well, what were your thoughts on the final match of the night?
So it was a good match. It was supposed to put these two together to showcase their talent. We knew they weren't going to lose going into a PLE on Sunday. Halloween Havoc in Hershey, Pennsylvania. This is a good test for NXT being on the road with no main roster talent, no TNA talent, just them. No Raw or SmackDown before or after to try to boost up tickets. I'm interested to see how this is. I'm thinking about doing an NXT party for Halloween Havoc. I'm looking forward to the card. Except for the main event. I'm looking forward to the card, and I can't wait to see it. And I have not been excited about an NXT PLE in quite some time.
You heard it first from the executive.
You feel me?
Well, I didn't mind the finisher.
That crowd is going to be loud in ECW Arena the Wednesday after next. One-on-one with AEW Dynamite, ladies and gentlemen. That night, we're going to have a simulcast episode, big episode with the NXT crew and the AEW crew. Can't wait for that. Bad Guy Jack, Sabrina, Estella, Vinny, Venomous, La Spada, Dan the Man, and Cactus Katie. Looking forward to that as they review AEW and NXT tonight and find out what they all thought was the better show that night. I already know why I think my vote's going to be NXT because there ain't no way an all-league whackness show is better than a WWE show. Sabrina, Estella, I don't know if you answered the question. In December, WWE is going to have a live event here at the Kia Center, and AEW is going to have their pay-per-view companies in at the Edition Financial Arena. Which one will you be attending?
I've attended enough WWE live events, and I'm fine with that. And I attended one AEW live event, and I'm fine with that. So I would probably watch the WWE event over the AEW pay-per-view.
The WWE event's not going to be on TV, though. It's a house show.
Well, in that case, I'll figure out something else to do. I'm probably going to be out of town most likely anyway, so.
Really?
Yeah, I'll probably be spending New Year's with my family.
New Year's is not till a week or two after. No, it's not. When is Companies in? December 30th? Yeah, can you look that up?
I'm looking it up now.
I think you're right. I think Companies in is like December 30th, so you probably will be in New Year's. I'm trying to be on somebody's cruise.
World's End's happening December 28th.
Okay, so you might still be here. But I know most of the crew is going to Companies In. I'm the only one that's going to the WWE live show because why would I pay to go to Companies In when there's
you already paid enough for an AEW taping before and you don't plan on doing it again.
Exactly. I paid Let me tell you something, AEW. 3 times y'all got my money. 3. First time, some AEW crooks got upset because I let them know the show sucked and they wanted to try to jump me, right? The second time, I fell asleep during the pay-per-view. And then the third time, it was just stupid. It was horrible. It was the AEW 200 episode or something like that. And I think somebody won the women's title. Who is the person? What's a former women's champion in AEW? Japanese?
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, she won the title from Toni Storm. MJF and Adam Cole, baby. Get this. Had a 20-minute promo. Bet you never thought you heard that. Happens every single Wednesday. I'm excited for the Royal Rumble in February in Indianapolis. Guess who else is going to be there? The executive consultant, yours truly. Yes, I will be in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble. Do you see Guy taking the NXT Women's Championship for Roxanne Perez? Yes, I think she should be the one to do it because Roxanne's time to go to the main roster. AEW, it should be called because they got trouble with bookings. Let me tell you, I hope WB has an out clause for their contract. I don't know why they re-sign these people when their ratings have decreased in half over last year. They can't get people to show up to their events.
We've seen the pictures.
AEW is what I'm going to call it. Thank you. That's not what I'm calling it. AEW. Unless I'm calling it all elite whackness. Terrible.
And on that note, that is our show, ladies and gents. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unpopular Review. I apologize for not being my sassy, feisty self like always, but I've been feeling under the weather. I've been coughing and just drinking up.
Did you watch Collision?
No. Last time I watched Collision, I wanted to gouge my eyes out because it was so bad, except for Deonna Purrazzo versus Britt Baker.
Just a second. Deonna Purrazzo still with the company?
Yes.
Oh, I thought she was gone. I remember last time I watched Collision, I wanted to, fall asleep.
There was only one match that I liked watching. Not one time I watched Collision.
Thank you. Yeah, AEW. It's a good one. Yeah. All right, take us home.
But there is something here for everybody here on Unpopular Review. On Mondays at 6 p.m., you have the Mike Knox Show for the intelligent wrestling fan. At Mondays at 7 or Tuesdays, depending with
it's
this. Mondays, we have and the executive consultant reviewing Raw right after. You have the NXT Tuesday Crew with myself and the Great Grand Slam Pooba. Wednesday, AEW Dynamite with Cactus Katie, Venomous Vinny, and Dan the Man, top 5s and or predictions on Thursdays, as well as the SmackDown Penitentiary reviewing Friday Night SmackDown on Saturday afternoons with the Wardens of the Z is Silent and the Mark Vic.
It's the SmackDown Penetration. Ladies and gentlemen, this Thursday, NXT North American Top 5. Looking forward to that. Sabrina, Estella, Great Grand Slam Pooba, as well as that consultant, bringing you our top 5 NXT North American champions of all time. Also going to have a NXT Halloween Havoc prediction show and a review show. Stay tuned to all of our social media to find out when. Look at our partners at Unpopular Review Entertainment as they this whole week they're coming out with television shows and movies. Really big week for Unpopular Review Entertainment. Next month is our 6-year anniversary. It's ironic that Stephane's here. Our 6-month anniversary, so we're going to be celebrating all month long. And, of course, going up into December, we're having our end-of-the-year award show, where this year we're opening up the ballots, ladies and gentlemen, because they were sick and tired of me winning by them voting for me. They're opening up the ballots for all you fans to vote for me instead, and they can complain some more. So, looking forward to that. Go ahead and take us home, Sabrina Estella.
And that is our show. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you back here next Tuesday. Hop on tomorrow for those that like watching.
This week is Daniel Bryan. I'm wrong.
Is Daniel Bryan top 5 on Thursday.
Next week is not North American Champions because next week is Crown Jewel. So next week is Crown Jewel Prediction. So it's going to be the week after that. Top 5 North American. This week,
the Crown Jewel Prediction / the North American Championship top 5.
If it's slash, then that's fine. Give a dice on that. That's fine. I can do both.
That's what was on the calendar that he showed during the
I did win fair and square. I don't know why they all upset. Hey, I won. What did I win last year? I won Best Host. I am the best host.
And
Just a second. You don't think I'm the best host?
I'm not answering that question.
Just a second.
I'm not answering that question.
Just a second. All I want to know is, it's a simple question and a simple answer. Do you think I'm the best host? Because if I look back at my notes, you might have voted for me. I don't know. Actually, no, I think you voted for me.
If I voted for you, it's because I had to. Because I couldn't vote for myself or my partner.
No, you can't vote for yourself. You can vote for your partner if it's a single
You
one.
told us we couldn't.
No, I say you can't vote for yourself. The only time you can't vote for yourself and Ron is if it was best duo or best show. But when it's best host, if you want to vote for Ron, you could vote for Ron.
Okay, then I probably did vote for my partner, not you.
Doesn't matter. I won anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for watching us. For Sabrina, Estella, I am the exec consultant. We will see. Hey, join us tomorrow. AEW, huh? Cactus Katie, Venomous Vinny, Dan the Man. We'll see you next time here on Popular Review.